What's up, everybody? We're back. The weather has improved drastically, so we outside now. The wind has gone down, and so have the Sonics' hopes of winning a championship. Although I won't slander Evan, I've done enough of that in the main thread. Let's talk about the upcoming matchups and what happened. So we'll start with the West. In round 2, we're going to get the first-seeded Mavs against the 4th-seeded Trailblazers. Again, I've talked enough about the Blazers-Sonics matchup. I will just say, I stand by my original prediction of the Sonics winning. I'm going to call the Brian Alexander clause on that one. So, all that is suffice to say, the Mavs are going to roll. They're going to absolutely steamroll the Trailblazers, who are not very good. I'm feeling a 4-0 Mavs, maybe a 4-1. You know, they're going to drop a game at some point. But yeah, Mavs cruise. The West is just looking good for them. Now, on the other end of the bracket in the West, we have the 2-seeded Rockets versus the 3-seeded Warriors. I think this is going to be a great matchup. Bryant obviously didn't like my prediction. Although I had him winning, I just said it would go to 7. I still think I stand by my feeling on Bryant's team, which is that I don't like it very much. But with respect to the Warriors matchup specifically, so the Warriors against the Suns obviously went 7. Jake had a crisis of emotions. There's a better word I'm looking for. Whatever. It was scary. But when you actually look back at the games, it's really like it went 7. But Jason won a game, I think it was game 2 in Golden State. When you look at the statistics, he had absolutely no business winning. I mean, he shot 50% from 3, and he shot like 85% from the free throw line, taking more free throws than he usually takes. It was just like a classic RNG stolen game. And like, kudos to Jason, it happens. But I think the point is that the Warriors still, despite dropping that, came back and won, which I think shows that, like, even with getting some bad luck on their side, they were still the superior team. And then in another win of Jason's, he shot 55% from 3. So it's like, this was not a case necessarily of me losing faith in Jake's team as much as Jason just getting some, like, good variance on his side. Still not enough to convert. So when it comes to the Warriors versus Rockets matchup, I actually like the Warriors a lot in this one, mainly because of the perimeter defense. So Bryant's team scores on the perimeter, Maximo and Del Val. And if anybody's going to just absolutely turn Del Val into the decrepit old geriatric that he is, it's going to be the Warriors. Takashi Tezuka, Seth Lee, Ciro Kobongo, they're the perfect suite of players to just annihilate an unathletic three-point shooter in 2 factors. First of all those guys are not great offensive scorers in their own right. They're all a bit chucky, but they'll be efficient against Del Val. And they're all like 6'6" athletic AA defenders, so they're going to shut him down. So I actually really like that. For Bryant, there's like a question of like, do you even start Del Val against such an awful matchup? I assume he will. He seemed to like rolling with him. But for that reason, I actually really like the Warriors. I think it'll be close at the end of the day. Warriors have to overcome home court advantage. They have a bunch of chuckers, so it won't be easy. But I like the Warriors in 7 over the Rockets on this one, to get the honor of being steamrolled by the Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. Now we'll go out east. We have the 1-seeded Nets against the Nets are against the Celtics, the 4-seeded Celtics. Finally, we're going to get an interesting matchup. For the Nets, we knew they were going to roll the Bulls. They rolled the Bulls. There's really no drama there. However, for the Celtics, a lot of hate in the chat from Kyle about how he was going to toast Gasper. And while it didn't happen the exact way I said, Granny only did okay, and it was the other big man in William Caban who really went off. I think generally I was right about the front court of the Pistons not being good enough. However, I like the front court of the Nets more than I like the front court of the Pistons. Cochran and Will Ford, I think Will Ford always gets slept on as a defender. He's 7 feet tall, athletic, a post defender. That's great. Clint Cochran is obviously 7'6", solid all-around defender. I think at the end of the day, the Nets are just the superior team to everybody. There's no question. The one, interesting approach for the Celtics is if they can get Will Ford in foul trouble and maybe take advantage of that. I think the Celtics will need a lot to go right. I think the Nets guards are on the shorter side. They're 6'2" and 6'3", D-Meat and Shane Sullivan. So the Celtics really will probably hope Renee Snyder could go off against those guys. Obviously, Renee's a midget, but against those smaller guys, maybe he has a chance to do the mean 3-ball as well. And then foul trouble on Will Ford. At the end of the day, the Nets are just so damn good at every position that I don't really expect it to be enough. But I do think we could maybe get some drama. Maybe the Celtics get an early win in Brooklyn. get Italian, thinking about his life a little bit. But this Nets team really is like the Monstars. So I think we're going to see, I'll say 4-1 Nets, maybe 4-2, but the Nets cruise. I'll say 4-1, so there's a clear prediction. And then finally, we have the 7-seeded Cavaliers, fresh off an upset against the 3-seeded Bucks. So, this is a tough one. So the two predictions I messed up in the first round was myself, which again, Brian Alexander-Claus, and then the Cavs over the Wizards. And the thing about the Cavs and the Wizards, I spent that whole prediction slandering the Wizards only to pick them to win at the end. I should have just said that they were going to lose. Look, I've hated this Timmy Hamilton squad that Brian has put together as far as playoff results. Timmy Hamilton fades in the playoffs. Chuck is just like a one-way player. Justin Washington doesn't have enough sauce as a big man. Like, it's just a regular season pub stomp team. And that's exactly what happened here. Against quality play, like, I think Jesse did have some breaks go his way, but more than anything, I think the real facts is that, like, we've seen this Wizards team in its current formation, led by Timmy and Chuck, and Justin Washington, is just not going to get it done. So Jesse moves on. The Bucks roll over the Magic. Santoro went off. I'm feeling pretty good about that prediction. No Seth Lee. It's really not rocket science. Jesus Wood, known playoff choker. So the Magic getting stomped, not a surprise. So for this one, look, it's great that the Cavs beat Brian. Well done, Jesse. Thank you for validating my hate of the Wizards teams. Brian, just move on. Sell your players. Find a new build. Not every build can be good. Lord knows I know that shit. The Bucks are going to steamroll the Cavaliers. We seem destined for the Bucks-Nets Eastern Conference Finals, which is kind of as God intended. So it'll be good to see that. I think West-East, like, if the Cavs want to succeed, it would be Wes Eastwood getting clamped by Efren Strong, which is not the craziest thing in the world. But then it's like, who's going to stop Francois Santoro? No one's going to stop Francois Santoro. So it's just like, the Bucks are too good at too many levels. So I'm thinking 4-1 Bucks. All in all, I think the Bunny series is going to be the Rockets Warriors. That should be really fun. And then, of course, the Idolin choke watch. Although, even though Gasper has a very interesting team with a lot of good players, the Nets are just too damn good. Those are the round 2 predictions. We'll see how it pans out. That's all. Stay breezy and toodles.